Welcome to the Everything is Wrestling podcast. My name is Nick. We are here to talk everything wrestling for the love of wrestling. WWE, AEW, TNA, everything in between. We're here just to spread the love and support of the thing that we love the most, the best form of entertainment there is, and that's pro wrestling. Quick rundown on who am I? Again, my name is Nick. I've been watching wrestling my entire life since I was like 4. Heels are my favorite. I am a Roman Reigns fan. I'm an OTC fan. I love all the Shield boys. So that's Roman, Seth, and Moxley. They can do no wrong. Doesn't matter if they're putting plastic bags over people's faces. I love them. I love the bad guys. I love women's wrestling. And yeah, I've been watching forever. But like, one of the few things I love to talk about is pro wrestling. So here I am, yapping away. And let's get right into it. We have Survivor Series WarGames coming up in a week and a half now. I want to talk about the 2 main WarGames matches today, starting with the men's WarGames match, Bloodline versus Bloodline 2.0. On Friday SmackDown, we saw that Bronson Reed is officially a part of Solo Sikoa's bloodline. And I just want to say I absolutely love the move from Solo adding Bronson. Seeing Bronson and Jacob Fatu standing over Roman Reigns was terrifying and so good. Jacob Fatu's moonsault into Bronson Reed's tsunami splash. Oof. Perfect. And then you seen post-show on, I think it's Talking Smack, they all dressed alike and they look like black shirts, gold chains. Bronson Reed just matches the crew so well. I absolutely love the move. I love the team of the Tongans plus Solo plus Jacob Fatu and Bronson Reed. That's a tough 5 for WarGames. And then on the other side, you have the absolute mess that is the OG bloodline. Roman Reigns came back at SummerSlam and he said from the first time he picked up the mic, he hasn't changed. It's just the people are kind of on his side now because he's dealing with Solo. But he said it himself, he hasn't changed. He's not a good guy. He's not a bad guy, but he never has been. Jimmy coming back at Bad Blood set all this in motion. Following Jimmy, we had Jay coming back into the fold. Everybody was looking for an apology from Roman to Jay. I don't know why. You wasn't getting that at all. The best you got was a yeet. You got OG Bloodline merch with yeet on the back and the front. Good enough. That's an apology. I don't care. Jimmy and Jay bringing Sammy into the fold got messy. If I'm Sammy, I don't know if I'm getting into this mix. Like, Roman destroyed you in front of your wife. Why are you getting back into this OG bloodline mess? But Sammy can never mind his business. So here he is. That's 4 of them. They're messy. They don't know how to talk about their feelings. But with Bronson Reed being in the fold with Solo's bloodline, the OG bloodline needs a 5th. Now on SmackDown, I wanted a segment of Roman just questioning Sammy, Jimmy's, and Jay's thought process from the previous Raw in terms of who they were looking for their 5th member. Like, Sammy went to Seth Rollins. Like, really? Jimmy went to Braun Breaker, who for months now has either destroyed Jay or destroyed Sammy for that IC title. And then Jay went to Rey Mysterio, which Roman's had beef with the Mysterios. Go back to, I think, 2021, 2022. It's there. Plus, the Usos beat Dom and Rey for those World Tag Team titles that started their historic run. Bad picks all around. So, come SmackDown, it's still just the 4 of them versus Bloodline 2.0. And then we get to Raw this past Monday. And Jimmy, Jay, and Sammy are stepping to Seth again. Seth has some very harsh words for the OTC, saying that he'll never tag with him. He never wants him back in power. But In the main event of Raw, Solo with the slight distraction to Seth causes Bronson Reed to win the match. And we end Raw with Bronson Reed and Solo standing over Seth Rollins. Now, will this lead to Seth Rollins eventually and kind of not wanting to, but having to join the OG bloodline, at least for a WarGames match, and put his petty differences to the side and team with Roman again? I'm guessing probably. I think that's our 5. I think we got the OG bloodline versus Bloodline 2.0 with Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins being in the mix for that match. I think we'll eventually get that. We got 2 more SmackDowns and 1 more Raw to go before Survivor Series, and I'm guessing the drama will continue to unfold with all that. Whether or not Sammy is truly Team OG Bloodline, we'll see. There's some sneaky stuff with either he took out a phone or a remote from his pocket during that backstage segment. We'll see if that plays out. We have Paul Heyman having his phone disconnected or having Roman blocked from his phone when Roman tried to call him at the end of SmackDown. So we have that drama unfolding. I have some thoughts in terms of either Solo or The Rock or Paul Heyman, whoever you think is running Bloodline 2.0, with how Solo is going about testing Roman and forcing Roman to team with people and to reconnect with people who helped take down the original bloodline to begin with. Solo forcing Roman and Cody to team up with all the history with Cody and him trying to take down the bloodline for 2 years. Then going and having Roman and Jimmy team with Jay, who broke away from the bloodline and fought the bloodline and was a part of Roman losing that World Championship match at WrestleMania 40. That's 2. And then we'll have a 3rd if Seth gets involved, because Seth was another guy involved in WrestleMania 40 and trying to take down that original bloodline. And that would be 3 times Solo's forced Roman's hand and him working with someone who's tried to take down the bloodline, tried to take down the family. And I don't see Solo or The Rock liking that at all, and this is just further proving their point that Roman should not be the head of the table, should not be the tribal chief. We'll see if that plays out, but that's my thinking about the whole thing of one by one, Solo and the Bloodline 2.0 forcing Roman to team with people that took down the original bloodline. We'll see how that plays out. We have post Survivor Series, we have the Netflix show, we have Royal Rumble, we have Elimination Chamber, and then we'll get right into WrestleMania 41. I see that kind of playing out in the next couple months. Now, for the women's WarGame match, I think the build-up doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but I don't care. I don't care that Bianca and Io are teaming together after all their history. I don't care that Nia is teaming with Liv after their recent history. Doesn't matter to me. I'm really, really, really looking forward to this match. Like, you have Bianca, Jade, Naomi, Io, and Rhea, who just came back this past Monday with the undashing Rhea Ripley look, versus Liv, Raquel, Nia, Tiffany, and Candice LeRae. That's a great 5-on-5. Whether the build-up is perfect or not, the match is going to bang, and it's going to be fire. Candice is great in WarGames. Io is great in WarGames. I'm looking forward to seeing Nia a part of it, Rhea being a part of it. The whole thing, that once all 5 members are in that cage, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a great match. Who cares that the build-up isn't great? The match is going to be great. Come Survivor Series, we're not going to be worried about the build-up. We're going to be like, damn, that was a very, very good match. I'm looking forward to seeing all 10 women in this match. It's going to be amazing. WWE and Netflix put out a trailer for the upcoming move of Monday Night Raw to Netflix coming January 6th, I think. Live in LA at the Intuit Dome. The preview was interesting because of who they were highlighting. Not just current Raw superstars, but then you had Roman Reigns being highlighted, John Cena being highlighted, Cody Rhodes being highlighted. I wonder if they'll do a move to get those bigger names to be permanent mainstays on Raw when they move to Netflix, or we'll get some type of roster shakeup, something like that. It's going to be very interesting because I remember seeing a report with Netflix wanting those people, like them wanting Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns over on Raw. So we'll see how that goes. When I see stuff like that, I get the feeling and thought of early 2000s Monday Night Raw versus SmackDown, where you had all the big names on Monday Night Raw, and you forced SmackDown to kind of develop newer names. But it ended up being the better wrestling show because then you had the SmackDown 6 back then. I wonder if that's going to be the case now, where you move the bigger SmackDown names to Raw, have that be the big show, and then not big show, and then you have SmackDown having to develop new stars. And if done right, this could be a perfect setup to bring up newer stars into a headlining position. Not mad at it at all, so we'll see. Other things in everything in wrestling that's not in ring. If you haven't checked it out, check out Indy Hartwell's YouTube channel. She's been uploading more recently. She has a couple of vlogs up. And then the picture online surfaced of her training with Mercedes Moné. Very interesting. Another YouTube thing you can check out is Lash Legends cooking show on YouTube, which I've been finding super entertaining. They're actually cooking and making dishes. The most recent episode had the D'Angelo family on it, but my favorite is still the episode with Trick Williams. Definitely worth checking out. I don't care. It's so good. Go check out Lash Legends cooking show, Cooking with Lash, I think it's called. And the Celtic Warrior workouts is back up on YouTube after about a year off. You have Randy Orton in the first episode, and then he just dropped a couple days ago the second episode with Chelsea Green. Both really good, entertaining. It's a cool way of doing interviews, and Sheamus is great at this. Definitely worth checking out. I will probably do another episode later this week. That way we can talk about AEW and Full Gear and NXT stuff. But I don't want to talk about AEW right now because the Full Gear kind of card isn't really announced yet. We still have a couple shows to go. So we'll either do a preview of Full Gear or we'll come back after it's happened and we'll talk about that then. But we will get into some AEW stuff. We'll get into some TNA stuff on the next episode and some NXT stuff on the next episode. And while I'm here and I've been watching Arcane recently because season 2 has been dropping on Netflix. In my mind, because everything is wrestling, I thought that Rhea and Liv's story should pull from Arcane more. Hear me out. I think Rhea and Liv's story should pull from Vi and Jinx's story and relationship, with Rhea being Vi and Liv being Powder/Jinx. Especially with how season 1 ended. There's still time to pivot more into that if they wanted to. It will give Rhea and Liv a little more depth in terms of what their storyline is and get away from just this revenge arc that we've been on for a year now. Having, taking from that Arcane story and putting that with Rhea and Liv, I think will just make this whole storyline way more interesting, especially with the plan that it seems like we're leading into Rhea versus Liv one last time at WrestleMania 41. And if you're following Arcane, I have Dom being Silco in this scenario. If you know, you know. All right. That's it for episode 1 of Everything is Wrestling podcast. My name is Nick. If you're here, if you're listening, thanks for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching. We'll do more of these. We'll see about having people on. Check out the socials. Threads, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at NotNick_S. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see. Let me know what you've seen in wrestling. Let me know what you've enjoyed in wrestling this past week. Put in the comments wherever you're listening or watching. I'm out. Thank you.